Welcome back to the DeClerc Homestead. It's day 15 of my 30-day garden prep challenge where I'm cleaning up my garden from the 2023 season. And today, I'm not very happy, but I have to tackle an area I've been avoiding for the past 15 days. But it's rainy and windy and awful and makes sense to work in here for part of my efforts today. So, welcome to my area of shame, aka the garden corner of my barn. Now, here is a thing about our barn. It's big and beautiful. There's tons of space in here, but none of it is really built out for the storage that we use it for. So there's no great system. And the reason why I haven't made a system is that I don't plan on this being the storage area for my garden stuff long term. I would like to build a structure right connected to my garden where it's convenient, but we just haven't gotten around to that yet. So now I have to deal with my own aftermath of not setting up a better system and actually organize this space that is just a dumping ground. Whenever we want to pick something up out of the yard, it gets chucked in here. So I'm going to do a 30-minute timer today and see how much I can get done in 30 minutes. And then I have to go milk, and maybe I'll take you guys milking with me too, just for fun. So a little story for you guys while I dump out 8 million little seed starting cells that have dried out soil in them. I have really wanted to have a greenhouse, one of those, like reclaimed window greenhouses for a really, really long time. I know they kind of went through a phase of being trendy, and I never got one during that phase, and I still would like to have one. So, of course, I have a huge pile of windows in my barn for building this greenhouse that will be both a place that I can start seeds, but it will also be a place for storing all of my garden tools without them being like just in the garden in the rain or way over here in the barn. So, when we put our new fence around the garden, would have been 2 springs ago, I kind of picked out the spot where I wanted that greenhouse to go. And we had these 4x4 posts for our fencing. And I was like, I'm going to just leave where I want this greenhouse to go. I'm going to leave the fencing tall. And you've probably noticed it before in videos, but I have like these 2 kind of really tall, awkward posts that don't match the rest. And people will often say like, what's up with these posts? Like, why didn't these ones get cut off? But it's because in my brain, I have this dream of building them and making a greenhouse, and it's going to be the corners of the greenhouse. So now you know, in case you've ever wondered, I have a huge stash of windows. Someday maybe I'll finally find the time for us to build my little potting shed, seed starting greenhouse, but we'll see. For now, my 30 minutes is up, and we didn't make too bad of progress. It's still nothing to brag about, but at least you can walk down here now. And if I needed to find something like for seed starting come springtime, I would be able to actually get to it. I probably should purge some of my bigger pots and seed starting cells because you only need so many, but it's like, why would you throw it away? You never know when you might need extras. Some of these are really nice ones from Bootstrap Farmer, but a lot of them are just from local nurseries, from getting little things that I either wasn't able to start or didn't start successfully. So now I need to go and get ready to go and milk. And I should probably update you guys while I'm doing that about our milk cow situation. So for those that might be new here, I'll give you a quick summary. We have 3 Jerseys. They're all females. One of them is our original milk cow named Casey. We got her in 2021, and she's about 9 years old. So she's getting older. We had a little trouble breeding her the last round, but eventually we took her to a bull and she did successfully get bred, and she's due in February. And she's currently dried off just because she was really late in her lactation, and so she wasn't giving that much, not much that it was worth it. Now, we also have a heifer, which was Casey's calf from May of 2022. So she's about 1.5 years old. We're hoping to breed her very, very soon. And then our 3rd Jersey girl is a 3-year-old, maybe 4-year-old cow named Betsy, and she is who I am milking today. We bought her in August, and we bought her confirmed bred, due in November around Thanksgiving time. Now, a couple weeks after we got Betsy, I noticed that there were signs of heat, and Fern had been going into heat, so I assumed it was Fern, but all of the cows were acting crazy like they do when they're going into heat. And I went to milk that day, and I got about half as much as I normally would from Betsy. And I noticed that Fern wasn't really being the crazy one. So I actually called our AI tech, and I had her come and check Betsy to see if she felt she was open. And she was not bred. She was in heat. So thankfully, she had the ability to artificially inseminate her that day. And we sent in a milk sample about a month later, and she confirmed that she was bred. So you might be wondering what happened to the first calf that she was confirmed bred with. She had to have miscarried at some point, because I do have confirmation from back in March, shortly after she was bred, that she was pregnant, and she must have miscarried at some point between then and when we got her, because she did not miscarry at our property. We would have noticed, and she probably wouldn't have come back into heat that quickly, because it was literally just under 3 weeks that we owned her that she came into heat. So the good news is that she is now bred, and she is due in June. The bad news is it kind of messes up my plan that I had for drying her off and then having her freshen later this month, and then drying Casey off and having her freshen in February. Betsy is pretty late into her lactation now as well, and only giving 1 gallon to 1.5 gallons a day, and that's not quite as much as I would prefer to have. But we're gonna keep milking it literally until Casey calves in February. And that's just part of homesteading. You got to be flexible. You're not in charge of nature. You've got to work with what you've got. And overall, I really like Betsy as a cow, so I do plan to keep her as long as she can carry her calf. But there's a little update for you guys that had followed in the past videos. Thank you for sticking around and hanging out with me today while I clean my dirty barn. Hopefully we can be back in the actual garden tomorrow. I will talk to you guys then.